What is up, my friends? It is Jeremy back from Budget Dad Barbecue and Brewing. It is a beautiful day today, and I decided to do something a little interesting. We're going to throw these pork spare ribs down on our Masterbuilt gravity smoker. But before we move forward, we're going to inject these bad boys with, yes, you're hearing this correctly, Dr. Pepper. And the reason why I'm trying this is because I did the same thing on a pork butt a few months ago, and it was phenomenal. It was the right amount of sweet, the meat was tender, it was juicy, and it did not have any of that artificial sweetness that I thought might carry over into the pork butt. So this is gonna be super simple. I'm gonna take you through every step of the way, and we're gonna see how this turns out. So wish me luck, and let's get started. All right, so as you can see, this is our pork spare rib. I've got my fillet knife, I've got my centaur knife. We're gonna trim these up a little bit. I'm not gonna do the best job in the world, but I'm gonna get the job done. All right, let's start by trimming these up. All right, good enough for government work. Let's go ahead and start to lay down our seasonings. Waste not, want not. So I'm gonna keep this as well as those little extra bits because I think they're delicious and I don't like to waste food. So we're just gonna put this off to the side. Now let's start the injection. We're just gonna try to get in between some of these ribs. It's okay if it oozes out, don't worry. And all of this Dr. Pepper that is sitting on top of the meat is going to caramelize. It's going to help with that caramelization and should be absolutely delicious. Just kind of working my way down all the ribs. All right, that is looking good. Let's go ahead and put a bit of browning liquid on here. Just a few drops is all you need. And this adds a element of umami, a little saltiness. And this is something that I just started doing recently. And it was based off of a barbecue cookbook that I ordered off of eBay from the 1950s, and they kept talking about a dash of browning liquid. So I had no idea what browning liquid was, but when I found it in one of my local German stores, I picked it up, and it is absolutely phenomenal. It's about $5 for this, but really I just do a dash, as you saw, so a little goes a long way. Okay, then I'm going to put just a tiny drop of oil. And last but not least, the pork rub. You can use any rub of your choice, but I picked this up at the local Kroger, and it was pretty cheap. I want to say it was just a couple bucks, so let's go ahead and try this out and see how it goes. That is looking good. Pop that right there. All right, so trimming, injecting, and seasoning is done. I'm gonna cover these ribs with saran wrap, and in the meantime, I'm gonna fire up my Masterbuilt to about 325 degrees. All right, everybody, we are at 325 degrees. I've been letting it roll for about 15 minutes or so. Smoke's looking good. Let's put these things on. All right, so those are looking good. I'm gonna leave these things alone and we'll come back in about 45 minutes to check to see if we're getting that nice brown color that we're looking for. And once we get that color we're looking for, we're gonna wrap them and turn the heat down to about 275 degrees. All right, you guys, we are back. It's been 45 minutes. Let's check these things out and see if we're ready to wrap. Oh, beautiful. Okay, I think these are looking pretty good. I like them to have a little bit more browning on them, but that's okay. I want to be careful to not overcook these, and so for that reason, let's go ahead and just wrap these things into the foil. We're going to keep it super simple, you guys. I'm going to throw down some Stubbs, original, and a little honey, and we're going to put these meat side down. All right, now let's put these ribs down. Now let's make life easier, and we will go ahead and monitor the temp via our Wi-Fi Bluetooth probe. Now let's take the temperature down to 275 degrees. All right, so we're gonna let the Masterbuilt cool down a bit. I'll set my alarm for 275, and as soon as that alarm goes off, we'll take it off the heat and we'll let it rest for about 1 hour. All right, everybody, it has been about an hour and a half or so. The alarm on my temperature just went off saying it is 195 degrees. So it is time to take these things off the Masterbuilt and have them rest for about 1 hour, at which time we'll unwrap them and we'll see what we have. Oh, you guys, this smells amazing. Really, really nice. Oh, it does smell sweet though. I could smell that honey and that caramelization or caramelization. What exactly? I don't know. Foyer. All right. Let's wrap these up. Okay. Here is the package. I'm going to put this in the cooler. We'll come back in an hour and we'll cut into them. We'll see how this goes. I'm excited. The smell says these are going to be good, but you just never know. So we'll see you back in a little bit. All right, my friends, we are back. It has been around 90 minutes or so. Our ribs have rested and I have not unwrapped them yet, but it is time. While those were resting, I went ahead and wrapped a few baked potatoes and put a little salt and pepper and olive oil in there. So those should be very, very nice to eat with the ribs. Let's go ahead and cut into these. All right, I think these are going to be the pretty ones. I always, something about wrapping these, it feels like a kid on Christmas morning, you know, it's just, okay, so these, look at the juice in there. Holy moly. Okay. Wow. All right, let's just start to cut. We'll take one of these middle ones and see how this goes. Wow. You guys, this smells absolutely beautiful. The meat is still to the bone, but it's crazy juicy. And the smell, it just smells sweet and I smell like pepper in there, garlic. That rub was pretty nice. This is the first time I've used that Kroger rub, but I'm thinking that this was a good move. I do see a little bit of a smoke ring, but not a ton. You can kind of see this on the top, but I mean, come on, just check this out. Look at this. All right, I'm going to go in for a bite because I could not wait any longer. Holy moly. Stop right there. Look at this. I mean, it just comes clean off the bone, but yet, look, it's not falling apart. It's not overcooked. Total time, around 2.5 hours. Juicy. Rich. Wow. I need something to wipe my mouth off with. So the big question, Dr. Pepper, do I taste it? A little bit. It's subtle. I don't taste any soda sort of, I don't even taste cherry or like the flavors that typically come along with Dr. Pepper. I'm not really tasting that here, but there is something different. Something that's just, as some would say, hitting a little different. And overall, I think that this is perfect. The balance of the sweet and the savory and the porkiness is just delicious. I'm gonna have one more bite. Holy moly. I'm sorry. You know what? These are actually maybe some of the best ribs I've ever had. Now, mind you, the bark and like that crust on it is not phenomenal. You know, this was only in a 2.5 hour cook, so I couldn't get that nice brown caramelization that I wanted. But man, oh man, the smoke is there, but it's not overpowering. The sweetness is there, but it's not overpowering. The porkiness, that umami, that meatiness, it's there, but it's not overpowering. And overall, I would say that the balance came out really good. But what's really tripping me out right now is just the overall juiciness. You saw how much honey and how much barbecue sauce I've added, and I did not put a lot of liquid into this wrap, but there is just probably a half of a cup of juice that has just really collected in here and has just created this amazing savory sweet steam bath. So overall, does anybody want to try this? I actually have my family around here. I've got my wife. Eli wants to try it. All right, here we go. You ready? Actually, you know what? Take a look at this one, you guys. It is pretty nice. Look at, you've got that nice, look at this, that nice smoke ring. Juicy. Come on. 2.5 hours, you guys. Eli, check this out. Get in there.
That's really good.
I guess I don't mind if I do. Ta-da! So I'm going to stop right there and tell you, was this good? Did it turn out well? Yes. Hands down, I would say absolutely. Was it the Dr. Pepper? Maybe. Was it the Kroger new rub that I made? Possibly. This was sort of a new sort of bundle thing that I've done. And considering I didn't have a ton of time, I really didn't want to do these low and slow, but I figured I would start them off at a higher temperature, sort of a hot and fast method at 325, and then go ahead and just kick them down. So under 3 hours, this is just amazing how well these turned out. All right. Well, I'm looking around. My family's hungry, so am I. It's dinner time. Thank you for hanging out with me, and you know the drill. If you learned anything, if you like this, if you're halfway entertained, go ahead, click that like button, subscribe. And if not, that's okay too. I'm not going to judge you. Hope you enjoyed this. See you next time.